right, welcome back to the morning show on this Feel Good Friday. And what else can make you feel good if it's not love, right? Marriage is one of those other things that really make us feel good, and it's like a dance, really. You learn a few basic rhythms and some fancy steps, just enough to say that you can dance together and remain on the dance floor forever. Now, our next guests are on a mission to just show the world how to master the rhythm of marriage. They're sitting on a couch where you usually see two of us, and we are usually separated. You'll hear the cameraman and the floor manager say, yeah, you need to move the other way. But Bona, no. The chemistry is just bringing them close together. It's Usisipindi and Mo who are joining us namhlanje ekuseni to give us a sneak peek into their soon-to-be launched. Well, the book is out. It's actually out. It was out on Valentine's Day, and we're going to be talking about the marriage dance. Mo and Pindi, it's so good to have you with us this morning.
So good to see you.
I mean, I can just thank you so much. It's really, I mean, I feel the love. I feel the love. Like I said, when we sit on that couch, good to you. Move the other way. But
no
Nina,
more,
it's so difficult to separate. It's so good to see individuals who have such a positive and beautiful display of love. I mean, I was telling you guys just before we went on air that my daughter saw you guys on the show, and she couldn't wait for me to come back home. And mina ngifike endlini very late. But that story was still in her head. Like, I came back and she was like, oh, I saw Sis Pindi no put more on the show, and they look like they love each other so much, Mommy. I saw them kissing. So thank you. Thank you for giving us that picture, right? But one of the things that I've always wanted to ask you guys, do you ever fight? I mean, couples will always say, yo, today we had the worst fight. We had the worst fallout. I look at you and I'm like, I wonder if these ones fight. I'm sure it's like 2 minutes, and then after that, we're back together, we're chatting again.
Let us bust your bubble. Yes, we do. A lot.
Okay.
It's Pindi who fights with me.
Now here's the fight. This is the kind of fights that we're talking about.
We do. But I liked what you said earlier, because fights are not supposed to be permanent. You know, we fight like any other couple. Sometimes I feel like I fight more with Mo. But we find a way of coming back together. Because, as you said, marriage is a dance. You know, even in dance, there are times where you are apart and then you come back together. And that's exactly how marriage is supposed to be.
That is so beautiful. Mo, please just tell us then about the concept around, you know, the marriage dance.
Yes.
What exactly is it, right? Because when we're thinking of dance, we're thinking of rhythm. We are thinking of steps, the steps, you know? It's collaboration at some point. Tell us more about this concept.
Look, when we first conceptualized the book, it actually didn't begin as a book. You know, it was an invitation, you know, to some events to speak, and we were given the theme to tango. You know, and in our immersion, you know, on the theme, we discovered so many things. Pindi was once a professional dancer, ballroom dancer, and so that helped quite a lot. And it was amazing in the process of that, you know, to discover, you know, so many parallels insofar as the principles. You talked about harmony, rhythm, and so on, but also, you know, for beginners, you know, I you know, expose myself
recently started.
expose myself to dancing, and you know, we started this process, Nopindi, and there was so much stepping on each other's toes, because we're not yet in sync, you know, and so forth. And a lot of these principles, they reminded us of marriage, you know, and we thought, how best can we describe marriage, you know, than to have the principles of dance, you know, and really try to interpret those. The stepping on each other's toes, sometimes and most of the time that happens unintentionally. And so it is in marriage, you know, we step on each other's toes, sometimes not because there's malice, you know, that is intended, but more because I want to do the best I can to make this relationship work. And sometimes I do that in my way, without necessarily considering there's another way. You know what I'm saying? And in so doing, there's a clash. You see, earlier on you asked us about, you know, do we ever fight? And Pindi said, yes, correctly so. We do.
Was I right?
No, you were right. You know, we do, but the key things, just like in dance, the key thing, you know, when it comes to clashing in relationships is successful couples, they learn how to repair quickly.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't sweep over the thing, you repair and you move on.
I like
Yeah.
that.
You know, and
I
so
like that.
there are so many principles insofar as dance that we felt they're applicable in marriage as well.
Right.
And so this book really came up, you know, as a result of that.
And it really sounds, Sibindi, like it's also a state of mind, right?
Yes.
And I know you probably speak of the married state of mind. What would
Yeah.
that be? Because Omo is also speaking about maybe not putting yourself first and making sure that you also prioritize
The other.
your partner, right? So tell us about that state of mind.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting enough, the subtitle of the book is called Dancing Towards a Married State of Mind. Because a married state of mind is really a state where you put your marriage above everything else. Because sometimes, unfortunately, marriage will make you selfless. And that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
When you get into a marriage and you are selfish, those are going to show immediately.
Yeah.
Because it will all be about self more than about this institution of marriage. So the marriage state of mind is really about put your marriage first, because we always believe that marriage is bigger than us.
Yes.
You know, marriage is bigger than the individuals within the marriage.
Absolutely.
But if you get into the marriage and you are bigger than the institution of marriage, then you are heading for disaster, because this institution needs to be bigger than you. And in that, if it's bigger than you, then it means you will be a student of each other. And that's how we put marriage. Marriage is an institution where you are constantly students of one another. What does it mean? It means I'm constantly wanting to learn about you all the time.
Yeah.
And when you both are students of each other, eventually it will make marriage easy, because it's not one who's a student, but it's us.
Yes.
I'm trying to learn about you, you're trying to learn about me, and eventually we get into this marriage state of mind, which makes marriage a lot easier.
Yeah, because
But if you get there and you are selfish and it's all about me,
Yes.
then you'll
And
have a
that's why we
challenge.
just hear all of these horror stories about marriage, right? Please tell me what's happening tonight. I'm sure all of our married couples want to know. I mean, you can see I'm already dressed for the occasion. Hey, all roads are just leading to the marriage dance. Please
Empress
tell us
Palace.
more. What's
We're
happening?
going to the Empress Palace tonight. We are having the marriage seminar. Well, it's a relationship and marriage seminar.
Yeah.
Because we're not exclusively targeting married couples.
Indeed.
So, you know, the book, it's really the translation of the book.
Yes.
The marriage dance that we've just released last week. So it's at Empress Palace tonight, 7 o'clock. And I believe tickets are still available at CompuTicket,
Yeah.
ShopRite Checkers. And people can see us there. It's a whole production. It's not a seminar like
I really
Zoom.
wanted
As
to
you
see
know
you
it.
dance right now to show us what we can expect. So if you want to see more Mpindi dance, you know where you need to go. You need to be going to Empress Palace. Namhlanje, you can still get your tickets. And I'm sure they're going at like 250 or so.
250.
Right, so ubala lolo, for you to be able to just get into the rhythm and the understanding of a relationship, of a marriage, and the steps that you just need to go through. I know some of us, when we start having kids, we don't know how we just factor them into this dance and make sure that they're still part of this rhythm. So if you want to know all of that, this is where you need to be, Empress Palace Namhlanje, and find out more. All right, stay with us. We're taking a short ad break. That's where we leave our conversation with Mo Mpindi here on The Morning Show.